So, people, the guts. Guitar electronics. These are the backs of your pickups. Each one has a magnet on it, and a pickup works by having wires spooled around a circle with some metal rods going down into it. And then the pickup, what's happening is the magnet is actually inducing the coil of wire going around those metal rods and making it so that anything metallic that moves in front of it creates an electric current that goes through these wires. One is the send and one is the return. Electricity always goes in a loop. And it's sending electricity down this white wire into this selector. And you see 1, 2, 3. Those are the three positions of the three different pickups. As the selector is turned, it makes for a different one of these or double. So you have in the back here, you have the one pickup, which would be this pickup. Then you click over one, you're between the two of these pickups, which is these two. Click one more, and you're now just the middle pickup. Click it again, and you're these two pickups. Click it one more time, and you're just that pickup. And I'll show you that when it's actually working so you can hear it. I think that makes a lot more sense. It has them coming off the tone knobs. A tone knob rounds off a frequency. It takes away an amount of the electricity. It allows some of the electricity to go back to its home, back to ground. And that's how we do things with electronics and sound, is we ground sounds down. So it's grounding all of the highs as you roll it off. All the highest frequency sounds get rounded off by this little green thing right here. It's called a capacitor that allows a certain amount of a certain type of frequency to go to ground. And as you turn the potentiometer, which is this thing here that the knob is connected to, that allows more or less electricity to go to ground. So, speaking of ground, all electrical circuits must be grounded, and literally that means what you think it does. It means it goes to the ground. So, this white wire is our ground wire, and it connects to the shaft of the cable itself. Do I have a cable to show you? Yes, I do. So, parts. The cable has a shaft and a tip, and the shaft is where the ground goes, because that actually coats the entire wire. Oh, you couldn't see that. The shaft and the tip. The ground goes to the shaft because that coats the entire wire all the way through, creating a force field, if you will, that does not allow other electrical sounds to get in. So now I'm going to solder the ground. Solder comes in these long things here. This is hot. Solder is also known for being dangerous because it can splatter. See the solder? Gonna put the solder on the piece, and voila, it's soldered. Now I'm gonna ground. I just grounded that. That's connected to the ground. Now I'm gonna put the wire on that does the sound, the positive wire, the one that actually makes noise. And I'm going to take that solder and touch it to my soldering iron. And the idea here is to get the object I'm soldering hot enough, not just with the solder. That makes for a good joint. That's a good joint. Now there's another wire coming off of this back here that is also a ground, and it's really important that we ground our strings, because if you all know, if you don't, you know now because I'm telling you, your body is electrical and you conduct electricity. So you have to ground yourself when you play a guitar. Little known fact, you are grounding yourself. And you ground yourself back here because this is connected to the strings by metal. Metal is all connected. Metal makes for a ground. So therefore, when this thing is grounded to the electricity, that the strings themselves are grounded, and you touch those strings, and you are grounded. So the electrical forces within you, which there are more than you'd ever imagine, don't make any sound. So you want a little more room on that wire. We get that by cutting off the insulator. There's 2 spots on here I can ground to. I prefer to use the hole because the little tab never works right. And this is a spot I really want to put a lot of solder on because it tends to not really like to stick. Let that cool for a second. Give it a yank. It's on. All right. This guitar is like seconds from making noise. Everything's all wired up. Now I'm just going to screw down my plate. I'm going to screw down this here boat, which I don't like how they always put that in a weird spot. It's like touching the back. Is it just because of that? Yeah. That's something I just need to cut off. Bent it. Yeah, it fits better. All right. I'm not going to have you sit here and watch me put in screws. That would be kind of... I think you've done that already. So I'm going to put that all together. I'm going to put strings on it. I also don't think you got to watch me put strings on it. And our last video will be me discussing and playing this guitar. And you can see I put in that little detail there. Matches the wood on the top. Alrighty. I'll see you guys next time.